People were very, very courteous in Andhra. Someone used to come and offer milk, chips, juice, and people, they want to talk to you. Right. They want to understand what you are doing. So then I was like, Bangalore, because I was exhausted. I had no energy. So Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, and back. So when I came closer to Bangalore, like Chennai or Andhra, from where? Bangalore. So Utkarsh, tell them full that we are coming like this. We are not coming like that. So he said, Meera, what is this? 205 average per day. I have seen you in Sahyadris. I have seen you during your BRM years. You are capable of doing more. What Corona? What are you saying? Put 250. Make 250 average per day. Don't settle for 205. These are the people who kind of make you cross your barriers and they never let you settle in your comfort zones. I'm very, very blessed to have.
I am Baiki Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest is a doctorate in life sciences and a mother of two. She calls herself an accidental cyclist. She loves long distance cycling and says that if she cannot be fast, at least she can be first doing something. So she chooses some unique events to participate in and has 4 Limca Book of Records on her name. She recently completed the Golden Quadrilateral Challenge on a tandem bike covering a staggering 6,000 kilometers in 41 days. Her name is Dr. Meera Velankar. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Meera. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Venki.
So, Meera, how did you get into cycling? Did you do any sports as a kid?
So I was doing regional sports like kabaddi and kho during my school days, but gotten into science at 11th grade and obviously no, I was not doing anything much until 37 when I was recovering from my second pregnancy, and that's where in US I did some spinning, and that's where I started a little bit of cycling.
So let's talk a little bit about the studies. So you got into science and you did a doctorate in life sciences, right?
Right.
So how was that period of whole college life and no sports, nothing, only studies, right?
Yeah, so that was, I remember I even used to struggle to walk 3 to 5 kilometers because busy life, these assignments, lab work. Then I got married to someone who was studying with me. So it was very kind of a prototype BSc, MSc microbiology, getting into PhD, appearing for various entrance exams. Then PhD research for 5 years in Kelkar College, Mumbai. Then getting married, then initial years of marriage in a typically higher middle class family, travel, settling early into your jobs. Then, and it continues like pregnancies and overseas travel. And then finally, I could understand or breathe after 17 years when I was like completely obese and 72 kgs after my second delivery.
So that's when you thought you need to do something and then started spinning.
Because my what you can say, my legs used to even pain when I used to get up in the morning. In US and in South Africa, it requires little bit of walking for you to go to supermarkets or your universities. But I was clearly not that fit, and that's where when I got some time, I settled into my postdoc project. I thought, okay, let's buy cycle and let's try to do something. When I got sometimes besides cooking and laundry and stuff like that, that's when I gifted Trek 3700 to myself.
Okay.
When I was 37 years old.
Okay. Where was this?
This was in Louisiana. This was in New Orleans.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. What were you doing at that time?
I was postdocing with Tulane University, and my
Okay.
husband was also postdocing with Tulane University.
Right. Awesome. So, you got that Trek 3700. What were you doing? What kind of
I
riding were
was
you doing?
just trying to go to this banks of river Mississippi and trying to do 10-15 kilometers a day, once or twice in a week.
Okay. Okay. That is about it.
That's
Okay.
all about it. And then we were there when actually recession came, and my husband immediately got his job in HPCL Bangalore. So he wanted to relocate, and within 5-6 months it was all over, and we again relocated back to India.
Okay. So this was in
This was in 2010.
2010. Okay. So how was this once you were here? Or did you bring that bike with you, or how did that go?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I was absolutely kind of, you know, amazed by, I was coming to India for after 5 years. So I had no idea about safety or traffic or anything. And I had this huge vacuum because I was not getting correct job. And kids used to go to school. He used to be busy with his new assignment.
Right.
He was quite excited, and I was just, what should I do? And that time I saw something like there is Nandi ride happening. In fact, Shankar Jairaman and Dr. Deepak Rao will tell you that time with one MTB and in one auto, I just landed onto Sivas Road and I asked them, where is this Sivas Road? So they're like, straight. So I still remember that, that incident where I was like, I used to kind of see all this action on FB or in some group accidentally.
Right.
And I saw that this GMC rent out a bicycle and come for 800-kilometer ride. It was something like that. And then Santosh and Mahesh, Sunil PB, all these people helped me to get my
The Great Malnad Challenge.
bike again. And it was huge fun exploring Karnataka. Obviously, I had no idea about what cycling shots are, what is the cadence, how and why one should ride MTB. I was just riding all the peaks like Nilgiris, Kundadari, Kodchadri, whatever, and I was enjoying it.
Okay, before we go there, you mentioned about the Nandi, right, turning up at Budigere and asking where is Shiva's road. So how was that ride?
That was good. I mean, what I realized is lesser sometimes you are blessed with pure cycling. So when you know more, then, I'm not going in zone 3, or why my speed is below 24. Am I riding heavier bike? All these things play. But I really enjoyed that phase because where no one knew me, I had no pressure to perform, and I just wanted to cycle. I used to start by 9 o'clock every day or alternate day, and I used to go until Budigeri cross, and there used to be one fruit vendor or vegetable vendor, and I used to buy groceries from them, and I used to bring fresh vegetables at the speed of 14 or 15. It used to happen. Okay. Those were the most beautiful days. Nice. So how was your that first Nandi ride? Did you have company? How long did it take? There were few people on and off, but I had no idea about the magnitude of this climb, airport road being so busy, then the service lane, every time you have to go to the left, nothing. I just came with my, I believe, Nike or whatever running tracks. I just hopped onto that bike and turned, and when the climb started, I remember that climb I finished in 1 hour 10 minutes with 3 or 4 breaks. Right. But more than that, I just enjoyed climbing, and nothing good or bad happened during that. I just enjoyed the whole activity. And then I decided that I will enroll for GMC, and I enrolled for GMC, came back, and there many people told me that you are doing good, and there is one event happening called as Tour of Nilgiris. And that's where I signed up for another event. And when I came back in 20 days, I got rid of my trek and I was on to road bike 15 days before Tour of Nilgiris. Okay. So this is all in a very short time. So when did you get a bike initially?
and did these rides. And when was GMC? GMC used to happen in what,
So
September
I
times?
came in August from USA, and after in 2 months during Dashera time, October, I remember Kannada Rajyotsava is the thing, November, where they go to the peak.
Right.
And this was in 2 months, and another 1.5 months, I got my first Trek 1.1 from Gautam. That was my first official road bike in 2011 November.
Okay, 2011 November.
Yeah, 15 days I had this tour of Nilgiris. Then again, knowing less is good. So I had no idea about how the terrain is, what are the elevations, how much I have to climb, what are bike positions. I remember out of 9 days, almost all 9 days, I was using running apparel. I don't remember wearing any cycling shorts during my TFN.
Right.
And I just saw you guys randomly laughing at me. And I now know why.
Yeah, I don't remember laughing at you. That was my first tour of Nilgiris as well, 2011. I was riding my fixie, and I was in no fashion diva at that time. You could see in those pictures, I look like whatever. We all start like that, right?
I could see Vicky, and she looked quite fit and quite different to me that time. So I could understand that I have to, kind of try something so that I can be somewhere, aligning my timing with that lady. And she was a great inspiration then and now also. And in fact, I had Shruti, Vicky, and me. So Shruti unfortunately couldn't cycle beyond day 2. So then it was me and Vicky, and it used to be great fun to see someone like Vicky, and I was taking her example, and I was just trying to complete it day by day.
Right, right. So yeah, these that events like TFN are great, right? So
Absolutely.
we get that exposure. I was riding my fixie. I was in like whatever loose clothes, loose jerseys I had back then, because during the course of the training, I lost some 12 kilos. So whatever jerseys and waves and whatever I had were like quite flying. They're like parachutes for me. And I used to have my phone pouch here. It was quite a comedic look if I look back.
Absolutely.
But as our friend Chentil would say, you were quite an eyesore. he, he laughs at remembering those days. But what was great about that events like tour of Nilgiris was we were able to interact, see with great riders like Rajesh Nair.
Rajesh Nair, I was like all the time, oh my god. Yeah. Arvind Bhattacharya, oh my god.
Yeah, so we were able to see them up close and personal. So, and we were able to observe what they were doing and learn from, things like cadence. Of course, I couldn't do anything with cadence. It was dictated by my fixie. But, we got that sense of what is good. Absolutely. And all that. So it was quite a learning experience, and that's what I tell people, whoever want to do events or explore events. I say to them, like events like GMC, and if they're doing MTV, if they're on road tour of Nilgiris, these things are really good learning grounds.
And I never felt out of the place. I mean, I cannot speak any South Indian language, but let it be GMC, TFN. I almost felt like I am knowing these people for 8 to 10 years. And, everyone was very, very nice. And it's a great thing for any woman cyclist or any, girl or lady to be there out and experience these kind of events, multi-stage events, I would say, multi-day events.
Yeah. So the camaraderie is very good, and they're quite helpful in teaching you and making you aware of things that you don't know. Absolutely. So that is very fun. So after TFN, what were the kind of events you were doing?
So after that, I was very, very systematic. I knew that I am here and I am here to stay. So during my time, we had Suma, Manjula, Anita. These were the people who used to do riding on and off. And that's where when I saw looking for bigger challenges, and that's where when I saw Brevets, that's where when I wanted to kind of learn swimming and get into triathlon. So everything was explored every year. 2020, 2012 was BRMs and downhill and BBCH. Then 2013 BRMs like first SR, 13, 14. 14, 15 second SR. And that's where I thought, okay, everything that I want to do around Bangalore that is within my financial and physical training capacity has been done. Now let me look at triathlons, and that's when the turning point came when I called Deepak Raj and I told him. But until that, my family was also 3-4 years of cycling. Now you're regularly going. Now enough of it because it's an outdoor sport. It's different. It's not like you go for 2-3 kilometers run and come back, or yoga, or these kind of sports are easily accepted in our society, I would say.
Yoga and stuff. So, before going to the triathlon journey, let us briefly talk about BBCH and the BRM journey.
Yeah. So BBCH, I think in our times we really never used to have that much of competition. I remember very good friend Shilpa Dev, Pooja Dave. I've cycled with these, females. Suma Rao, great inspiration. Manjula used to be there on and off. Yeah. We used to show up there. There used to be good prizes. We used to do whatever we can. And sometimes when obviously Vicky used to come for races, then all of us are like, okay, we are crossing finish line. That time Vicky will be in her fully changed clothes and waving bye to us. So that's where I used to feel what are our Indian bodies, how we function, how we are cycling. But then we somehow used to say, bye, Vicky, and finish that race. So that was the era. And we have enjoyed that era also, where you go and you get all the podium goodies, and you still, we were not looking for any easy this thing. In whatever our social this thing, our physical, everyone was trying their best. I have enjoyed my racing with Shilpa. Whatever 2-3 races I could do, she is one of the great inspirations still. That's BBCH and downhill races and everything. I could I try all sorts of events, and I have also
MTB,
enjoyed
road,
downhill. Yeah, Turali downhill is something. I took my husband there, and I remember he said, please don't do anything like this because if you land up in hospital, I'm not going to come. So I was like, okay, let me finish this. So I have 30 championship points and I'll get this championship and then I will come home. Right. I enjoyed that race also. And Brevets is something which is non-supported and what you can say, self-navigated, non-competitive events. So I was very much looking forward. Obviously, I had no idea that how unsafe or how raw it can get. I used to like that up to 300, 200, 300. It used to be huge fun. Bangalore Brevets are very, very challenging. So Bangalore sits at certain elevation. So wherever you go down, you have to climb up while coming back. Right. And IISc randoneers, they did wonderful job that time. And I could see initial crop of randoneers like again Upendra, Chiddu, Deepak Masaude, Ancheti BRM, what is happening today. I think I did that BRM in 2013. So was very, very, very much fortunate to be part of all these initial events. After doing one SR, obviously I had a lot of difficulties during my SR. I could never crack 600 in Bangalore due to not having correct size bike or, sometimes company also. So I had to go to Delhi to crack my initial SR. And in fact, in my cycling journey, I have very, very good friends. I have I have good critics who can tell me, no, Meera, this is not correct. So Dipankar Paul, he came and he said, दिल्ली में राइड करके एसआर नहीं होता है. I said yes, I know, but इतना ही हो सकता है.
Because why? Because Delhi is flat.
Delhi is flat, so it doesn't.
But still, the distance is distance.
No, no, but it doesn't fit in Dipankar standard. And I am very, very happy to have a friend like him. So that keeps me, that keeps me on my toes, and I try to improve because I know if I do something like that, then I'm going to get a call from him. This is not correct.
Okay, so you completed an SR, and then you completed a few more.
Next
Couple
year
of months.
also, then
Yeah.
I was in touch with Deepak, and
Mm.
then I started training systematically. That is the time when I got introduced to what is calorie burn, what are HRs, what are different zones.
This you're talking about Yoska Deepak.
Yoska Deepak
And
Raj.
you are talking about getting into triathlon.
Triathlon. So I wanted
So
to
because
do.
you have seen you have taken part in GMC, you have taken part in TFN, you have explored the local racing scene, and then done BRMs and couple of times, 3 times super random air.
That time I did two, and then I graduated towards triathlon.
Okay, then you decided, okay, you want to do something else, that is triathlon.
Else, in the sense, something that will actually
Challenge you
put
further.
me closer to the family, because
Okay.
these 400, 600s, it was quite crazy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going, you're completely on highway. It never used to gel well with family.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, okay, in triathlon, I will be using different muscle sets. Plus, it's a shorter event, 6:37 hours, and then I will acquire new skills swimming.
Right.
Never knew how to swim until that point.
Okay.
And then I called Deepak and I got into systematic training.
Right.
So that's where when I understood about a little bit about cadence, nutrition. You should take complex carbs during your event. For recovery, you should take protein. All these things, use of stretching. All these things, I think I, big time owe this to Deepak. It's very systematic, very kind, and see, there are many coaches, but Deepak is the one who had that empathy to work with not so fast rider like me. Right. Someone who is a 5 hour athlete, anyone can make that him or her finish in 4:30. But I was limited in my resources and I was limited in my fitness also, I can say.
So yeah, that I mean, for any coach, I think having that empathy is important, because we have to understand where that athlete is coming from, what are his or her strengths and weaknesses, and what are the areas that she is really good at, and what are the areas she can improve and work on, right? So that if that is not there, obviously you cannot progress.
He played a very good part as my coach, and in Shanti Niketan in my complex, I had very good swimming pool.
Right.
So only cycling I had good base. I'm weaker runner also, so I'm very average cyclist, very poor runner and worse swimmer. So how do you get the triathlon done? Right. But I did.
So when was this?
2015 April.
2015 April, half Iron event. Where was this?
Malaysia, Putrajaya.
Malaysia. What was the experience like?
It was very good. I mean, I was over the swim cutoff for 5 minutes, and sometimes they don't take athletes out. They just give them some time to finish their swim and cycling. So there I had 20 minutes buffer, and I could barely finish 15 minutes before to the event cutoff. Okay. But considering that I started training 4 months before, I had never gone to open water before that, except 2-3 times when I did Kolhapur and Enduro. I think it was very, very good experience, and absolutely goosebumps when pro athletes wave at you. And I think Ironman is the only race format where you don't have separate male and female thing. Right. In the sense, separate male and female timings. Everything happens equally for everyone. Right. And that is the race where you get to cycle or swim with pro athletes. So it's a very, very good brand and wonderful experience. Very good race course, and Malaysia was humid, 36, 37 were the temperatures, but I grew up in Mumbai and I was almost ready. So it was wonderful.
Excellent, excellent. So did you do any other triathlons after that?
I did one triathlon, which is my second Limca record. So after coming back, I was looking at something unique. So in Tonnur, we three moms, we kind of teamed up. Okay. So that is Pallavi Kulkarni, Indira Baikerikar and me. So I did Tonnur that time, where I just cycled, and it was first time in India where three moms, three women, they came together and they did half distance.
Okay, really?
So Thonnur is the one I applied for Limca that time, and I have official certificate for the same with those two.
Okay, okay. And what you said this was your second Limca. What
No,
are
this is second Limca, and my first Limca record I saw Tandem bike in 2015 end. And I had a very good friend Sheetal Bambulkar, and we both had lot of highway aptitude. So we thought, okay, this funny bike, let's both of us try to cycle, and we had that
funny bike?
Phantom. So we had this bike available. I think Kishore Kale from Nashik, he had kind of provided that to us, and we wanted to do this first 200 BRM.
Okay.
By anyone, like two females or anyone on tandem. So I think Baroda, December 2015 December is the one when we both attempted this in Baroda. We could get this done in some 11:40.
Right.
11 hours 40 minutes. So that we applied for Limca, and that is my first Limca record actually.
Okay, okay. So what what draws you towards tandem bike?
Tandem bike is something which is huge teamwork. So I was very much excited. Cycling sometimes become very solo. So I was exploring some options where it can be a team event, like Fletchy. Fletchy is something where 360 kilometers or 350 or 380 is done by 4 people.
Right.
So generally, as a women athlete or women cyclist who is trying to cycle at 18 to 24 average, I don't get company of any male rider. The paces are different.
Right.
Drafting is very less. So I was looking forward to something like this where I can be more comfortable and it can be a team game.
Right.
And it came with added advantage that it was unique. It gave me a lot of force. So these force obviously help you because I told you that I work on smaller contracts with cycling industry. I'm not able to get suitable employment. So these kind of force or these kind of profile, they open up a lot of other avenues for you, for corporate talks, for, so I was happy exploring tandem, but I honestly had no idea that it comes with so much of complexities of working with different partners. Now I'm on to my 11th partner and
Okay.
I want to stop this.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that because see, riding one bike with someone else. I did a little bit of reading on tandem how it works. So the guy at the front is called the captain. And the person at the back is the stoker, right? So and captain tends is the one who is going to steer and control the bike and navigate, obviously, and the stoker, both of them will be contributing to the forward motion of the bike.
Right.
So it sounds to me that it needs a lot of coordination and understanding between the partners. So during events like this, what are some of the challenges that you see with the tandem riding?
So basically, if you decide that you want to cooperate with someone and you want to sync beautifully, and it's your time to share frame with someone and do something unique, then you're absolutely comfortable. And I had these few people that I would like to mention is Mohammad Rafi Sheikh. On a very basic bike that was given by Venki, we could do SR because we are very good friends and we know that for those 40 hours, we need to be in absolute sync. So there is no other question, there is absolute comfort. So Mohammad Rafi Sheikh was one of my very comfortable partners. Then I remember Ashok Bhanushali and me, we did 300 BRM in 2016 in Surat. So Ashok and me share that very good kind of understanding. Now with GQ Utkarsh Verma, so Utkarsh and me, we played a very good team.
Okay.
So it happens in tandem that front person, as per my understanding and my experience, he or she requires a lot of upper body strength.
Okay.
And person who is sitting behind is given crank. So direct power is put by someone who is at the behind, and lot of lower body strength is required for a person who sits behind. So there are defined roles. Captain who sits in the front, see, apply brakes, put gears that are suitable for both. Because intensity of gearing that you feel for back rider and front rider is different.
Right.
And back rider is navigate. Like if someone wants gel or water, then first give your captain and then you have to eat.
Right.
It's not that your captain is riding and you are eating. First open up the gel packet and give it to your captain because he or she is dependent on you for nutrition.
Right.
Then putting songs or navigating or talking to people. I mean, I have done all sorts of things during my K2K, doing social media. I used to have Robert's jersey and I used to have my toothbrush moisturizer, my power bank, my JBL. So which song you want? Okay, I want Shreya Ghoshal. Okay, put Shreya Ghoshal. So that's the duties of a person. But also one thing is there is a huge pressure or huge discomfort on your saddle when you sit behind.
Right.
It's not easy thing because you take direct impact of such heavy bike. So like captain is suffering all the time in terms of his or her shoulder and getting that pull. Stoker is always suffering from the saddle part. Like lot of pressure is there.
Yeah. So you mentioned K2K. So you did K2K last year. So K2K is Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
Right.
The distance is
3846 and we did opposite. We did from Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
TN lockdown.
Okay.
It is a beautiful event and Robert Kingsley is a very well known, very stable endurance rider. And in fact, he has this beautiful polygon impression where onto 40,000 bike, we have this 60,000 modifications.
Okay.
Done by Dinesh and Shekhar from Chennai. So it's a very beautiful bike and a very technical event. And Robert came with a lot of resources. He came with his bike. In fact, before we could start Jammu climb, our rotor and spare brake pads were already there in Jammu.
Okay.
So it was one of the lifetime experiences. And MP is very beautiful. Hyderabad, there was storm and people helped. Bangalore, everything. Yeah, lifetime experience.
What were some of the memories from K2K and what were some of the challenges?
Challenges, I was first time riding, like few of the days we put 250, 270 in one day, and where you know that you have to do this for 10 consecutive or 15 consecutive days, then obviously recovery.
Right.
So I was using correct kinesiology taping on my back and stuff like that. I would like to mention that I have a few mentors or a few friends. One of them is Monish. So when I told him that I'm going to do K2K, so he said, Meera, what is this? 205 average per day. I have seen you in Sahyadris. I have seen you during your BRM years. You are capable of doing more. What Corona? What are you saying? Put 250. Make 250 average per day. Don't settle for 205. These are the people who kind of make you cross your barriers and they never let you settle in your comfort zones. I'm very, very blessed to have friends like them.
Nice. So how many days did you take?
So it was 18 days, 18 hours and 46 minutes. So averaging 205. Sometimes we did 270. Few days like Nagpur, we couldn't go ahead from Pench Forest. I think around 80 or 90 was the lowest we did. It averaged out to around 200 kilometers every day. Nice. It was beautiful. MP is beautiful. I'm foodie, so we were enjoying. And one thing I would like to mention is as you team up in mixed pair, you always have to see that how much you are slowing down your male partner. You don't want to slow someone down. You don't want to bore them to death so that, so I was always trying to play my A game because I knew that I'm with Robert and he's a very seasoned. When we started K2K, my mileage that year was 2 to 3K. His mileage was 8K. So with so much of consistent riding, so much of experience, so you have this huge responsibility as a female rider to do your best to somehow complement your male counterpart.
Right. Okay. But you have done that successfully, and then how did this idea of from say 3,800 how did this idea of 6,000 kilometers Golden Quadrilateral come into the picture? So was that challenge not big enough for you, or what was the thought process behind that?
No, when I finished K2K, I was looking at something bigger, and there were two routes left to explore. One is east to west, and another thing is GQ. So east to west is Gujarat to Koteshwar. So either Kitibu to Koteshwar or Koteshwar to Kitibu.
Okay.
So when we saw that route,
So Gujarat, Koteshwar is
the west part.
Okay. And
East Kitibu.
Kitubu is in which state?
Assam.
Assam. Okay.
So either it was this way or that way. That is how all these records.
That is also about 3,000.
3,800 only.
Okay.
840. Same like K2K. But looking at the terrain and looking at here, Gujarat is also, we are not familiar. Plus, you go through two forest reserves. And after Assam, I was told that veg food is not available.
Okay.
It's not that safe. We wanted to go without support car this time due to financial constraints, nothing else. So I thought let's explore. What I was thinking about GQ is 3846. So GQ is 40% more. And people also told me that it's flattish, it's national highway, so more resources. But in reality, it was a different story. So I thought, okay, Bangalore, my home is on GQ route. So any day I can start. And I spoke with few people like Preeti Maske recently have done GQ for Guinness attempt in 25 days. Then I was in touch with Mahajan sir. They have done it in pair of 2. Then I was constantly talking to Amit. I could meet him when he was there for his attempt. So I just asked him. So he obviously season was not good. My daughter's 12th exams are there in the correct season towards October. So I never wanted to venture. Plus I wanted to take advantage of what base mileage I have of K2K. So it was there in my mind that I will do these two events in 6 to 7 months span. Okay. And I might want to convert it into some book or some kind of a different kind of a project rather than applying for a record. That was, in fact, my husband also started working on my book. So that was something that I had in my mind that let's do something different rather than applying for a record now. What happens this with Guinness World Record, if you want to do something, you need to apply for it 4 to 5 months before. Okay. If you want to go with less money. If you want your approval in few weeks, then you have to pay $800. Okay. There is another very costly record, I would say, that is called WUCA. World Ultra Cycling Association. So first you have to take $150 membership. Then WUCA only recognizes attempts. Those are done with car support. Okay. That means another 80,000 to 1 lakh. Then in Corona, you have lot of problem. Even though you somehow manage to get that money, where will you find people who will sit for you for 22 days minimum? Right. Now only it was 41 days. So let's take 28, 30 days. Who are those people who will come with you? Right. I have seen people who have taken people on a paid basis with 700 or 1,000 rupees per day. Definitely can't do something like that. And third thing is border crossings, toll booth crossings. How will you do testing for all these people when you cycle? How will you manage their expenses, their hotels? So you will be lost in managing people and funding them. So I thought cycling without a support car and requesting people at few points using people's car as support car will be the easiest method. Right. And I did that, and I was very lucky to get good support from community. In fact, GQ is almost 75-80,000 for me also right now. But it's a decent value considering the magnitude of this event against few other riders who had spent up to 5 lakh to 20 lakhs or 50 lakhs. This was okay. Yeah. So that is about the logistics. So you mentioned about support from various cycling communities in various cities. How far ahead did you plan and contact them and then get that in place? So I was connected with a lot of people, but once or twice I started, I tried starting and it didn't go as per plan. So people knew that she wants to do something like that, but it's not happening for past 5 months. There were issues with partners because Robert was not available. This cycle, I have friend Srinivas, so we were co-owning this cycle. So sometimes you have cycle, sometimes you have correct weather, sometimes you have lockdown, sometimes you don't have a partner. So all this was happening for past 5 months. And I was just trying to see if I can really do this. So I had given idea to people and I have told them, see, this is what it is. If I manage to come 1,000 or 500 kilometers near to you, then I will connect further. Okay. So I was giving them good heads up of about 3 to 5 days. Okay. And I would like to mention here that cycling shops, along with community, along with cycling clubs, along with motorbikers, jeepers, that connect was given to me by Maharashtra Mandal. Maharashtrian, so we have our Maharashtra Mandal. So I have someone called as Umesh Zadhav, Nilesh Telkar, Kapil Ingale. So they just told me, okay, we have understood, and surprisingly, we have GQ support group in India. Ah. So few people, one person has done skating, 3 months. Golden Quadrilateral skating. Skating, yes. So someone has walked Golden Quadrilateral. His name is Dasuda. Oh. He's very well respected in India. So you have this club of Golden Quadrilateral support group in bikers and motor people. This is their normal thing. Fantastic. Every day someone comes with some unique idea. Someone wants to do it in auto rickshaw. This Dasuda person has finished it on cycle, walk, and I think when he was walking, he had another friend on cycle. Wow. So we have lot of such people, and people are used to this. Okay. Like it's their routine that someone. So whoever is there on that Passing, yes. On that route, yes, will be acting as support. So there is a support group for support group across India. Awesome. And people are used to things like what needs to be done. When they track your location, they come with okay, what you need: medical, food, bike repair, clothing, accommodation. Yeah. So they know all these 5 heads. They are more prepared than you are. Yeah. And it's a common thing for them. And many people like cycling shops, Jetli sir in Baroda, Raghu, head of our Audax, he came to meet and Jetli sir took care of our bike. That was first point in Baroda after 1,200. Then again my bike got serviced in Bhubaneswar, Nanda sir. So he was also very kind. My hub was broken. In Kanpur, I had Ravi Mishra. So Ravi not only repaired my bike, Ravi came 100 kilometers ahead for us to give us company. Okay. Ravi cycled 200 with us. Ravi takes us into the shop. And sometimes we have chain slack with so much of riding because these bikes are entry level. So after I got this bike, I did about 800 or 1,000 practice and 6,000. That means 7,000. This is all, normally this is the running for the bike for 4 years. Right. Or 5 years. So if you use this bike in such abusive manner, right, then this bike will give up. Right. The chain and everything. Chain, then cassette, then the linking chain. Linking chain was having lot of slack, so power is not getting transferred uniformly. Then we had lot of tire issues, like tire in this Hubli stretch and Belgaum Dharwad stretch. So due to this tar road, we absolutely had worn out tires. Okay. I had like initially 20 days I had 18 punctures. Wow. 20 days, 18 punctures. Okay. Yeah. So every time you have puncture, you stop your bike. You stop Strava recording. You invert your bike. And we had a lot of stuff on our bike. We were scared that every inversion will make exposure to road and corona and whatnot. So invert your bike, remove slowly, have patience, consolidate yourself, take the wheel out. Then I will obviously sit next to the bike. Then male rider will either go ahead or behind. there used to be one converter because some tubes come with shredder, some tubes come with Presta. So take that converter, take extra tube, go to truck shop because we were having about 65 pressure. And our hand pump, even though we had hand pump, but we were not able to fill that pressure. Right. And what happens with road bike or MTB, you can walk a bit with that, but this bike is 22 kgs with 5 kgs more onto it. Correct. So if you try to move that bike with that puncture, the tire and will go. The more you are trying to spend less money, the more you will get. More so you the will valves will go, the rim tire will be rim out. Will be out. And obviously, so, I mean, you are in time debate. Right. At least not in 20 days, but sometime at least 50 days you want to go home. Right. You want to at least get done 100, 120, 130 per day. Yeah. So initially we were putting good average up to, even one day we even wrote 270. So 200, 220 was the average we were maintaining. But later on I was also very tired after my first partner. I told you, Dinkar, he had to quit. Yeah, let's talk about that. You had on this ride, you had two partners. Yeah. So as two captains, ride captains, so to speak. So the first person, Dinakar, had to quit in between because of why? So, see, I did meet Dinkar on a WhatsApp group. So, like this GQ support group, you have Tandem group. Right. Where you have all the tandem riders from country in that group. So I asked him, will you be interested in something like that? So he was happy, even though he had some kind of doubts that if it is, what will happen if it is more than 20 days. So his longest event was 600 kilometers. Okay. My longest event was 4,000 kilometers. So we both clearly come with different experiences, different backgrounds, and as as we started progressing more and more, then he used to be a little bit uncomfortable in terms of his family calling, and there were other personal issues, I would say. So he decided that it's not something that he's looking forward to, and he wanted to go. So after that, I mean, I did so understand. Time constraints also. Time constraints. He was overall not comfortable with the magnitude of this event, or because I cannot control sun, I cannot control punctures. I can only fund his ride that I was doing. Beyond that, things were not in my control. Right. So when someone is not that comfortable and it's a team event, then it's a bigger toll on you. Also, what happens as you aggressively go ahead and team up with male rider, then you have this responsibility because generally and normally females, we are the weaker sex, and so I had this in my mind that if I quit, then it will be like mother of two, moms, middle-aged woman, they can't do anything. This was playing in my mind all the time. So I never wanted to let this happen. I thought, okay, I'm feeling absolutely fine. My family, my husband is funding. I have clear-cut idea. And luckily, fortunately, bike was sourced by me. Heini were on board as my apparel sponsors. I had this good connect of friends because everything was weaved and arranged by me. It was very, very easy for me to let him go. If bike, if he would have got his bike or apparel sponsorship would have been his, then this would have been a disastrous situation. But I had nothing to lose. I started talking with another rider, Utkarsh Verma. And I called my husband and I told, see, quitting is very easy. With these kind of connections, with the magnitude of event where it is going currently, it's you keep your bike somewhere, you relax, you check into some hotel, you get your flight ticket and you come back. So it's a matter of 2 days, right, or even lesser. Yeah. But continuing is difficult, and let me try this because I think I can crack this. And I initially had discussion with Utkarsh Verma. So he had done GQ on single speed bike. Okay. And he's someone who comes with solo. He has done all 3 routes. Okay. K2K, East to West, and GQ on solo single speed bike. Wow. And his timelines also looked somewhere like mine. Like he had finished K2K in 18 days, some hours, like us only. Right. GQ he had finished in 35 hours against my 41 or 42 days. So his timelines and his temperament and his riding, not speed, but his daily riding averages looked somewhat similar. So I don't clearly want to team up with someone who plans to put 400 a day.
Right.
It won't work.
It will be a kind of conflict of abilities.
So I couldn't see anything like that. So he was very comfortable. And initially, my friend Rakesh Kumar Pavan, he's in Varanasi. He hosted me for 3-4 days. So he told me that why don't you go with Utkarsh? But what happens due to this lockdown and stuff like that, you hardly meet people. You hardly get chance for these simulation rides. Right. Plus, this bike is very heavy to trans. You cannot simply say that, okay, I will come with my bike and let's do this simulation. In Bihar, these kind of bikes are not available. Right. And obviously, I can't fund anyone's travel for 10 or 12K to come to me and have this simulation ride. Right. So that is where the mistake happened in case of first partner also, that we never had ridden together. Before the start of the event itself. Yes. Yeah. And not everyone is Mohammad Rafi Sheikh, not everyone is Ashok Banushali, where you will sing beautifully. Right. But still in that situation, because I'm very much event oriented, once I start doing something, I will put my more than 200, 300% to finish it. I think people have seen it during TFN when I was riding with swollen ankle. Yeah. Arvind used to tell me every day, Gaurav Dwivedi used to tell me every day, Meera, rest, don't ride. But I see this happening. I'm like out of 900, I'm 100 kilometers away. So why don't I get this done? Right. Like that, very difficult situation was there. And then Utkarsh came on board. Somehow we got this rider until Varanasi. He was also trying to kind of do his best. And from then onwards, Utkarsh joins and then everything becomes very easy. Right. So we kind of consolidated ourselves. Initially, we were riding around 1,200 a week. Okay. From that point, we got our averages down to 900. So even though Utkarsh had initial 500, I was on 4,000 kilometers that time. Right. So a lot of things are there. In 41-day event, you will have your monthly cycles coming up. I did ride around 100, 150 on those days also. I also wanted to go home. I was also tired of this process of, again going to some dhaba, cleaning your bottle, again putting reload, again you are hungry, again sunlight, again wind, again puncture. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 days you can endure that. But after 25th or 30 days when we were still left of 2000, then it was very, very difficult. Right. Both physically and mentally taxing. Physically I used to get, then after 20-25 days, I used to get tired after 100 kilometers. So 100 kilometer in 6 to 7 hours was normal. After that, there used to be a lot of back pain, other, mental discomfort, irritability. So the cumulative fatigue of the days will be there. Yeah. And also, like you mentioned, sitting at the back, if it is a normal bike, standing and pedaling for some time and trying to use different muscles and all. It's all possible. It's all possible, but on a tandem bike, standing and pedaling and all that is not that easy, or it needs an incredible amount of coordination. And I used to get irritated because I knew that by then I was absolutely controlled by someone else. 41 days you cannot apply your own gears. Right. You cannot stop when you want. Right. But that's what I wanted to do. Captain is the the one who can change gears and who can brake and who can turn. But then Utkarsh took very good care. When I used to yell, he used to give me some music. And he used to say, I know one CCD is coming. Because by that time he knew what I want. When CCD is coming, but that is after 35 kilometers. Have patience. We will have 30 minutes, even for 2 hours we can sit in that CCD. But until that, please pedal. So a person with fresher legs and fresher patience has kind of helped also. And both of them, they had never cycled with a lady rider before. Right. And this lockdown and highway scene. So when you do this 35 kilometers and when you reach that CCD, then you used to say, no, this CCD was there, but now it's not operational. And I now need 3 hours of rest.
Yeah, lot of shops are not operational due to the current situation, right?
No,
Yeah,
you're not.
that must have been very tough in terms of
Yeah,
refilling.
because I was absolutely mad. In Andhra, you don't get tea where you get food. So I was like, what is this? Petrol bunk one stop for restrooms. That also not so clean, but restrooms. Then food you have one stop and tea you have third stop now. Right. Yeah, the food places like roadside hotels and all not don't usually serve. They have separate tea shops in Andhra. In Andhra, but people were very very courteous in Andhra. Yeah. Someone used to come and offer milk, chips, juice, and people they want to talk to you. Right. They want to understand what you are doing. So then I was like, Bangalore, because I was exhausted. I had no energy. So Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, and back. So when I came closer to Bangalore, like Chennai or Andhra, from where? Bangalore. So Utkarsh, tell them full that we are coming like this. We are not coming like that. Because Andhra Bangalore is 500 or 600 kilometers. So then I was like, Bangalore, sir, Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, going back to Bangalore. Okay. Yeah. You have to tell everything, right? And another funny thing is, we had this rain and it is a basic bike. So many times on petrol bunk, I used to give me some diesel. Because I wanted to. Sometimes our muck off or everything, we had also limitation that how much we can carry. Yeah. In every good cycling shop, we used to take 20-30 ml of degreaser. Yes, especially with no support. Yes. Yeah, so support vehicle. It used to get over, and when I used to ask them for diesel, so they used to think, okay, this is a motorized vehicle. It'll use diesel and go. I said, no, for cleaning my chain. Nice, nice. So you, with all these challenges, with all these fun experiences, you completed this in 41 days. So by the time you finished, what was the feeling like? I mean, I was jinxed. I was jinxed because in last 1,000 kilometers, our bike got repaired at every 300 kilometers. So first I had my service, I told you, after Baroda, I had Kanpur with Ravi. Right. After Kanpur, it was Bhubaneswar. So Bhubaneswar is the place where we had got this pannier fixed and where, again, hub problem was there. But luckily what happens is, in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, everyone who used to be there in Mumbai and Bangalore, they have migrated due to lockdown. Okay. So I could meet lot of our pro cycle guys. It was like, Bangalore at home kind of situation. Right. Everyone with whom I have worked in pro cycle was there with Ajay. Okay. Ajay Nanda's place. So they did beautiful job. Overnight, they did that job. And after that, Vijayawada, we have Jagdish Chinni. So Preetham from this Sikandrabad Randoneers, he connected me with him, and he was also very, very courteous. And he did change the chain. He wanted to help us, and he did change the chain. So after he changed the chain, that cassette is not working because that is kind of worn out differently. Oh, okay. So last three gears, the top three gears are not working. Oh. So somehow from there we managed to go to Guntur. Guntur also we had this Firefox showroom. Pedal zone. Right. They again did good work on our bike to remove that chain slack, and we did put another cassette there. After we started from both these places, next stop was Nellore. Nellore toll plaza we crossed. No, there also there was a problem, and there we have Firefox showroom. So in Nellore city also we got our brakes aligned because after changing that chain and cassette, it took some time. And after crossing Nellore, I mean in Vellore, I had Rotary booked very good hotel for me. I wanted to because the previous 3 nights we couldn't sleep. Utkarsh had his flight to catch. We were short on time. When we got this good hotel, I wanted to take rest, but I was not greedy on rest. I wanted to finish it. So 2-3 hours we refreshed and we started. And I remember in Vellore, we had 4 punctures in 1 hour. Again. Oh. So that series again started, and I was very much worried that what will happen now. And when we inspected everything, then we saw now the rim is showing some crack. back rim after all this impact of
Right.
6,000.
Yeah.
5,800. So then we could, we could put some rubber from the tire, truck tire. We put that rubber there. The Guntur riders, Nellore riders, Vellore riders, they got this local shops opened. We put new rim tape. And then with all that packing, that tube could sit.
Right.
And slowly we came until Krishnagiri. So Krishnagiri again we had this Vignesh and other people. They kind of felicitated us. We had help, and in the meantime, there was time for Utkarsh to go because it was 31st and 31st 9 o'clock. And after these days it's very sunny after 9.
Right.
And he had his flight to catch by kind of 10 in the evening. Or 5 in the evening. So he wanted to go by 1. Now Krishnagiri Bangalore is 97.
Right.
So that's the time when I contacted Venki and I told my husband that now we had done few rides, me and Harshit, we had done few tandem rides. So with Harshit, what happens when he wants to get onto the bike, every time we want to keep one stone, then he will put his leg, then he will hop onto the bike.
Right.
But still I told Harshit that I might need your help now. I have come 5,900. Now last 100 and in all this, I was thinking, okay, I want to finish the event. Can I somehow take single bike? But many people told me, no, you are clearly going for this first tandem. Please don't change your bike. Otherwise, this will have no meaning.
Right.
If possible, you ride that bike alone. But that bike also comes with a larger frame. That's the reason I could do only 20 or 30 kilometers on that bike in full event. It doesn't fit my height at all. So then Utkarsh goes to airport and Utkarsh religiously, I gave up and I said, okay, now let it be 42 days or 43 days. Venki or Chiddu, Venki kept on asking everyone in Bangalore or my husband, someone will come and we will cycle that 97 back. Krishnagiri.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, I mean, you say that sometimes you desperately want to do something. Nature also conspires. So Utkarsh calls me on his own saying that my flight is not flying and I'm coming back.
Okay.
So I said, what? I mean, this is impossible. So he said, okay, I'm now booking my flight for next day, 6 o'clock. And then Utkarsh goes to Venki. He gets that replacement wheel and he comes back. I mean, we stopped riding on 30th, 9 o'clock at Krishnagiri. And Utkarsh comes back on 30th, 11 o'clock after traveling 200 kilometers.
Wow.
And we again start and we finish by 6 o'clock somehow, 5:45. And then he catches his flight.
Crazy. So many difficulties, so many hurdles, but still you manage to make it and finish the ride.
Right.
No, that's the thing, right? That shows the passion. That shows the never say die attitude. I mean that is simply remarkable to say. So this Golden Quadrilateral challenge is in your bag now. So despite all the hiccups, despite all the changes and challenges, you managed to finish it. So what next?
Basically, when I came back, my husband said, if you go like that again, then you are not coming back.
Fair enough.
So right now I have said okay to this. And I was like, many people told me, Meera, itna sab kar rahe ho, why not Guinness? So I had applied for Guinness on 10th of April. So when I was doing all this, on 29th June, I get reply from them that in how many days would you like to do your east to west? So I have a friend, Dhanashri Kelkar. So she and me, we go on this previous bike. So Dhanashri has done 200 and 300 with her husband Srinivas. And she is in Chipalun.
Okay.
And she has gotten a road bike and she is good to go up to 300 twice a week or so. So she's getting ready now. So to be honest with you, once you get this approval, you have 1 year's time. But I want to rework on all the major mistakes. So maybe taking support vehicle throughout is again not possible. But we will try to approach some good brands. and we will try to see if at least in difficult sections like in Assam or in UP, if we can have support vehicle for a few days. Gujarat also, because I think Utkarsh and me, we were talking, and Utkarsh has done this. So he saw lion, he saw rhino on the road. It goes through two major forests, and it's not easy.
Right.
K2K is like you have normal city roads and good food. You have a lot of dhabas in Punjab. This route is also not like that.
Right.
You are limited for veg food ahead in the course. So that is something that I have on my mind. But definitely not. My daughter is in 12th. My younger daughter is doing very good in terms of her national participation in athletics. So I want to devote my time. Also, I'm looking forward for some event management, as in Deepak Maji Patil from Tour of Nilgiris. If that happens, then I will be mostly doing hospitality for Tour of Nilgiris this year. So few such projects are there. And out of my tandem pursuits, I think I have for my international SR. So that's something where someone who rides all 4 rides in 4 different countries is given title called as ISR.
Okay.
And I have done my 600 tandem Brevet in India. I have done my 200 tandem in Malaysia. And I have done my 300 tandem in Thailand. So I have one partner ready in Cambodia, but it looks scary. So I'm not going to do that right now.
But there is no time frame for this.
No, so it's a lifetime title. For
Okay.
400, you have to finish it in 27 hours. But it's not
But
like
different events you can do anytime.
Due to the complexity of ISR, it's a lifetime this thing. You don't need 1 year for this.
Right.
So that 400 ride is remaining. And to be honest with you, I never had my own road bike after I had gotten a beautiful BMC from Venki. So I had to sell that off for my half Ironman registration in 2015. So I'm really looking forward to own a decent road bike for myself and come out of all this. I want to be a simple, normal person now. Doing 30-40 kilometer rides on my, maybe entry level or semi entry level road bike. So that's the plan.
Good. back to single person.
Yes,
bike.
I think that's required now.
Yes.
If we introspect.
Right. So talking about your kids, right? Yeah. You said your younger daughter is doing well in athletics. So I would think that you had your exploits had some influence, if not all, on her. How is she doing? What events is she participating?
So both of them, in fact, both of them are open state medalists. My elder daughter started with 400, 800, and she could participate in. She's multiple times CBSE medalist, also national participant in CBSE. And junior daughter also is many times Buddha medalist or district level, state level. And recently in last Jan, they both got open state medal. They both are sprinters now. Okay. They both explore sprinting. And when in fact my husband told them that her partner ran away. So they said she will do something. I'm sure she will not quit. So he tells me that on phone that they are saying you will not quit. So that also gives you a lot of boost that whatever you have taught your children, they want you to do same thing. So I was feeling very, very good about it. I was remembering all our time when I'm very harsh on them, when I tell them to wake up and, when I don't show them any sympathy. I applied same thing to myself and I'm very, very much proud and, they are putting a lot of hard work. And I'm sure it will help them in some or the other ways in life. If not medal, then discipline. If not discipline, then health. Something will come out of it.
Absolutely, I'm sure. Meera, it's been a great chat, sharing your journey and everything. And I wish you all the very best for your future events, whether it is 2 wheels or even tandem is 2 wheels, but single person bike or tandem bike. To end the show, do you have any tips for working athletes who want to do well in life and sports?
What I want to say is cycling is a very time consuming and also, it requires a lot of funding, but start small. Take up, have your goals set at every 3 to 6 months. Many of you are team oriented. You cycle in team, and you are very, very blessed to have your own circle and have your teammates. So it's a beautiful sport, and I'm sure things for women also will improve, and they are improving. Right. But cycling is a raw sport. Cycling comes with certain challenges. If you like highways, if you like freedom, if you like everything that is associated, organized chaos that comes with cycling, then definitely go for it and you will love this sport. And I want to thank Bangalore specifically. Everyone, sometimes what happens, I'm very much down these days and I don't even want to take my cycle out. But someone calls, someone says, make me do my first 50 kilometers and we will at least go and have idli ride at Hoskote. So thanks so much for keeping me motivated, Bangalore. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Meera.